Hello, everybody. Somebody knows what it means when I say that.
Mr. Eikenberry, I'll go ahead and call the case. Oh, as soon as the defendant gets on, I guess.
Right there, Your Honor.
Eikenberry, your role in this is what?
Your Honor, I have an accompanying case that has been basically on hold while this one has proceeded.
Is it a felony or misdemeanor?
The felony as well. It's a felony domestic, Your Honor.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm acquainted with that one. Sorry, that makes sense. All right. The court will call State of Kansas versus Juan Morales, 23 CR 269, announce appearances.
May it please the court, the state of Kansas appears through Assistant Ellis County Attorney James Rutherford.
Your Honor, may it please the court, the defendant, Mr. Morales, appears via Zoom in custody and through court-appointed counsel Craig Urick, Oakland, Kansas.
All right. Mr. Morales, do you have any objection to us conducting this hearing by Zoom?
No.
Very good. The docket indicates we're on for arraignment. I've reviewed the file. I do not see that there's been either a preliminary or a waiver. What is the status of that, counsel?
A preliminary hearing was held on August 16th, according to my records, Your Honor.
Of what? August 16th of last year.
Of 2024.
Of this year, Your Honor.
Okay.
There was in the felony domestic case, which was, there was a waiver or prelim on that one.
There's no journal entry from the August 16th hearing in the file. There is a subpoena from July 24th, and there's a notice of arraignment hearing from September 9th. There's nothing in between.
Actually, Your Honor, that may be my fault. It looks like Mr. Rutherford sent me the journal entry and it got stuck in my spam box.
So you'll get that filed.
Yes, I will send this back to him right now.
Okay. We've cleared that up. All right. So, Mr. Morales, we are on today for arraignment. Arraignment is the stage of a criminal proceeding where you formally enter a plea. Prior to doing that, we have to discuss the complaint itself. Have you received a copy of the criminal complaint in this case?
Which case?
The case involving the aggravated battery involving Justin David Miller.
Did I?
That'd be a piece of paper. It's very short. It's a complaint. It's one count. And it alleges that on May 28th, 2023, you did unlawfully, feloniously, and knowingly cause great bodily harm to another person or disfigurement of another person, to it, Justin David Miller, a aggravated battery, a severity level 4 person felony. Have you seen that complaint?
Yes. We've been a preliminary for this case.
Correct. Okay. I understand it. But I have to ask you formally, you do have a copy of the complaint?
Yes, I do.
And I've kind of read it to you, but do you need me to read it to you again, or do you understand what you're charged with?
No, I understand.
All right. Are you ready to enter a plea at this time?
No, I'm not.
Well, I'm not saying a plea of guilty or no contest. It could be a plea of not guilty, but you have to plead.
Okay. Okay. Not guilty.
You're going to plead not guilty.
Not guilty.
Very good. All right. What we will need to do then is schedule this for a 12.
Sorry to interrupt you, Judge. Can I say this? I'm willing to accept a battery, but I'm not willing to accept an aggravated battery. Does that make sense?
It does, but we're really not. That's something you can discuss with Mr. Urick, and he'll visit with Mr. Rutherford, but that's not really what we're here for today. But I understand what you're saying.
Okay.
What we're here for today is this is the stage we have to formally enter a plea. So you have done that. You've pled not guilty. That means we now need to schedule a jury trial. This will be a 12-person jury. In reviewing it, Mr. Rutherford, how long do you think it's going to take to try?
Well, Your Honor, that's where Mr. Eikenberry comes in. I had initially believed that we could probably try both of these cases together, but Mr. Eikenberry brought up some good points about some conflicts he might have. So we're going to need probably 2 jury trials unless there's some procedurally, we can come up with a way to only do one, but I'm not sure we can do that. It would be 2 days for this case, and I think 2 days for the other case. The other case probably a lot shorter, but 2 days at least for the ag battery case.
And is the other case with me or is it with Judge Dries?
It's with you, Your Honor, I
I
believe.
thought so. I thought so. All right. And Sandy, have we set the other felony domestic battery case yet?
So, Judge, this was set about 6 months ago or something. The trial was supposed to be held in February, and it got continued at that time because of the new charges, a new domestic case. So we basically put that case on hold. And it's been just hanging out there waiting for this one to move forward because we had to get a different attorney for this case. I think Mr. Eikenberry had a conflict on this particular case, correct? And so that's what we had to get. We had a trial scheduled for February. I'm sorry, for March. It was scheduled in March, and it's been on hold ever since with these new charges and a new attorney on the other case. So neither of these have gone to trial yet.
Okay, well, let's get them set. We're gonna, Mr. Eikenberry, are you ready to set your domestic battery, felony domestic battery case for trial today?
We can do that, Your Honor. And as Mr. Rutherford stated, he had mentioned the possibility of combining these into one case. And I believe that would cause problems for me because I was originally appointed in the case that Mr. Urick has on for today, but recognized the conflict with a prior client being a witness in the case. So if we tried them together, I think that would be still.
I agree. Yeah, we can try them separately. Mr. Morales, you have a question?
Yes, I don't know why we on the domestic, we had originally set we had came to terms of an agreement of 6 months underlying sentence.
Mr. Morales, Mr. Morales, I need to interrupt you here. We don't need to talk about your plea negotiations today. I understand you need to visit with Mr. Eikenberry and Mr. I understand. But
wondering why it was withdrew because I didn't withdraw the plea from it.
Okay.
From the original plea that Mr. Rutherford came up with. I didn't withdraw the plea. So how come it's now taken off the table and we have to go to trial?
Well,
I don't understand that.
And I can appreciate that. That's what you need to visit with Mr. Eikenberry about so he can explain it to you. I don't want to get into, this is not the appropriate time or hearing to discuss plea negotiations or why something may have been withdrawn or not. It is something you can talk to Mr. Eikenberry about. He can be in touch with Mr. Rutherford, and I'm sure he'll explain it to you thoroughly. But today, okay, on the other case, Mr. Rutherford, the felony domestic case, has that gone to prelim and has he been arraigned on that yet?
He waived prelim in that, and he was arraigned by you, Your Honor.
All right.
A long time ago. I don't know the exact date. It looks like
Sandy,
October
that's the one that was
31st
set
of
in March.
23.
Looks like
Yeah.
October 31st of 2023.
I don't have that file. It wasn't listed today, so I
Yeah.
don't want to be jumping around. Okay.
Arraignment was done.
would
Yeah, it looks
be-
like October
yes.
31st of 2023.
Okay. All right. Yes, he was arraigned. Okay.
Yeah.
So we are ready to get these scheduled. Let's do this. I can already tell that every time I ask, I'm getting far more detail than I really need to get through today's hearing. We're going to set the aggravated battery case with Mr. Urick right now. I will let Mr. Eikenberry and Mr. Morales talk and visit with Mr. Rutherford. And then Sandy, you will contact them in the next couple of days and we will set that if we need to. Fair enough?
Okay. So the one we're dealing with today is number 269.
That was scheduled.
Okay. And how many days am I looking for?
2.
2?
What, Mr. Eikenberry, do you agree 2 days? I forgot to ask you, but.
I think that would be me, actually, Your Honor. And
I'm
I think
sorry,
2 days
Mr.
would
Urick.
cover it. Yeah.
All right, sorry.
No problem.
Okay. And 150 days I show comes up to like February something. Let me look here what I wrote down. February 21st. Okay. And obviously we're going to be going into the first part of the year for sure, Judge. So
It's going to be to be elected Judge Brown the one who doesn't
Correct.
spell his name correctly. He will be the one that will be handling that. So we're going to go ahead and set it because his calendar should be pretty open.
So let me see what I have. Just starting the first week of January, because I know we've already got, Judge Dries has trials already scheduled. And my problem being in February, we have that Rice County thing coming here. So, okay. What about like the 6th and 7th of February? What does that look like? Mr. Rutherford, I guess I also don't know if you'll be even having this case, will you?
I'm not sure at this point, but I also have Mr. Becker who would be taking this over. I have his calendar up so I can
Okay,
schedule around the 6th. He'll be in a jury trial, misdemeanor 1. I'm not sure if that'll go.
Set it over the top of
but yeah, that's a 2-day with Judge Dries. That starts on the 5th.
misdemeanor,
Yes.
2-day misdemeanor jury.
He's got 2 days, 6-person, yeah. 5th and 6th, yeah. I didn't see the second day of that, but he does have it for 2 days. Let me look at something else. Let me look at the last week of January. Last week of January, Judge Dries already has a trial for 4 days.
Last week of February is that Rice County
Last
case.
week of January.
Oh,
Last week of February, I've already got that Rice
last
County.
week of January, I don't,
Judge Dries,
I'm showing a Judge Dries open on January 27th. Is that what you're talking about?
just that day. The trial starts Tuesday
I see.
through Friday.
Okay.
Okay, the week before, Judge Dries also has a trial Wednesday, Thursday, so I'm not getting anywhere where I can do it 2-day.
Okay, but what about, I'm looking at the calendars. I'm not trying to interrupt or interfere.
No.
What about 13th, 14th? I'm
Of
not seeing-
February?
No, January. Well, January 13th, they get sworn in. I get that's not a good day. That'd be too much.
Yeah,
Shot.
I was gonna say, no, I'm trying to move past Judge Brown being here at least a week or two to even get organized. And I've already got a Judge Brown trial scheduled in February as well, the second week of February. So yeah. And then the last 2 weeks of February, we have the Rice County thing here. That's my problem. Judge, let me do this. If you look
We're
at
not gonna
Judge,
get anything done. We're gonna spin our wheels. We're not gonna.
yeah, I have to talk to Judge Dries about the one that's scheduled the last week of January. That one may not, I mean, it's a 4-day, but it's a civil matter. It may or may not go. I don't know.
Well, and the thing is, criminal takes precedence over civil.
Sure.
They haven't got subpoenas out yet, so we can bump it if that's what we need to do. Now, while we're talking about that, that is what dates were you looking at?
That's January 28th through the 31st. I'm pulling up that case real quick just to see if subpoenas and stuff have gone out yet. Because this has been on the calendar a long time. I do know that.
That's
But
that. I know which case that is. That possibly that they have sent them out.
yeah,
Look,
that's
just get a hold of the lawyers after you review all this and see where we might be able to fit it in.
yeah.
And
Okay.
then get hold of Mr. Eikenberry and Mr. Rutherford after we get this one fit in to see where we can set the other one if that needs to be set.
Okay. All right, let me do some work on the calendars and I'll get back with everyone.
So he's been arraigned. Anything else we need to take up today?
Actually, Your Honor, before we go, if we could, I had filed a motion to see about getting a bond for Mr. Morales.
When was that filed?
This morning. I'm not sure if I've seen it come
It's not.
through eFlex.
It is
I
not.
did mail it to the prosecutor's office, but let me just see.
Here's what we're going to do. Mr. Morales had a bond hearing earlier where bond was denied. And so we'll need to schedule the bond hearing for a bond motion for a separate hearing. Give the state an opportunity to review the motion to see what the alleged plan is, as well as the court. We can take it up at a later date. We can do that by Zoom, Mr. Urick, so you don't
Okay.
have to, unless you want it in person.
Okay.
All right.
So we'll just, after it comes through, I'll talk to Mr. Rutherford and then we'll just get a hold of Sandy to schedule it.
Correct.
Okay.
All right. Anything else?
Nothing from the state, Your Honor.
Nothing from us, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Eichenberry, I'm sure Sandy will be back in touch with after we get this case set and start working on the other case. But you may want to visit with Mr. Morales, had some questions, and Mr. Rutherford to see if that case is even going to go. All right, very good. All right, thank you, counsel. Mr. Rutherford, prepare a journal entry from today, and Mr. Urick, make sure you get that other one sent back so we can get it in the file.
Very good, Your Honor.
We will be adjourned.
State of Kansas versus Terry Joseph Sinclair, 2023 CR 213, 23 CR 54, and 24 MR 268. State by Samantha Foster.
Jerry Wells representing Mr. Sinclair. I think Mr. DeMarco also represents Mr. Sinclair on the trailing case as well.
That's correct, Judge. John DeMarco appears with Mr. Sinclair on 2024 MR 268, which is a fugitive case.
All right. He must not have known he had. Do you know, Mr. DeMarco, do you know what he'd like to do on that case?
Judge, I think we're waiting on a resolution on the other matter or other matters, and then intend on waiving extradition at that time, Judge. But
Right.
This is a trailing case.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Wells, how do you want to proceed on your cases?
Judge, I would like to set it for a preliminary hearing go, but with the admonition that we'd like to set it out with some time, possibly 30 days. One of the problems that we've had is determining who the prosecutor on this particular case is going to be. I don't know whether it's going to be Ms. Foster or Mr. Greenwald. So we need to understand who is prosecutor in the cases.
It'll be me on this one.
How much time?
Judge,
You're wanting them both set for hearing, both thefts?
yes, that's fine.
How much
Can I
time
say
maybe?
something?
For both cases, Your Honor, I'd ask for an hour for them to be heard back to back.
Mr. Sinclair?
Yeah, I'm not trying to get a preliminary hearing or taking the trial. I'm trying to get a deal. That's all I'm trying to do.
Okay, I'm gonna let you talk to your attorney about that.
I told him that. Huh.
All right. Are the parties available at
Other him.
2 p.m. on Thursday, November 7th?
Just a moment, Judge.
2 p.m. November 7th. I am available.
One moment.
I currently show that we have Russell Bliss set for preliminary hearing on the 7th at 2, from 2 to 3.
Judge, I'm not available on the 7th. I'm going to be in another jurisdiction.
All right, just a moment.
Oh, man. This place is fucked up.
All right. Are the parties available on, so November 1st at 3?
State's available.
Judge, I am not. I'm sorry.
November 6th at 9?
Yes. Defense is available.
That works for the state.
Words for me, Judge. Mr. DeMarco. Thank you.
Mr. Sinclair, I'll be in touch with you. So
Yeah, I would hope so.
come to a resolution before that trial date.
Yeah, I hope I'm not taking a trial. I told you I want to make a deal.
It's
All right,
fine.
Mr. Sinclair, I'm going to let you talk to your attorney about that privately. If you come up with a resolution before the preliminary hearing, I will hear that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Be safe, be well, sleep sweet, and much love.